Chelsea have destroyed Hull City in the FA Cup to move on into the fifth round. A brilliant hat-trick from Pedro Neto, but a very, very, very professional performance from Chelsea. And I think it's fair to say, since Liam Rosenior has come in, he has had a very, very good new manager bounce. He's been there, 10 or so games, and the only defeats he's had have been against Arsenal. They have been very, very good. And I'll be honest, they've got some tough games coming up. If you can get Cole Palmer back fit and firing like we saw at the weekend, like we saw in the game before that where he got a hat-trick, I think it was against Wolves away. If Chelsea can get a good run of games and carry on this new manager bounce, I think the top five will be in the Premier League, Chelsea, Man United, and then the three above them. But Chelsea at the moment, in the League Cup against Charlton, comfortably dispatched of them as well. Went out there tonight, and the Hull City are actually in decent form. They're in the top four of the Championship. They're fighting to get into the playoffs, to come into the Premier League next season. It's not, it's not the easiest of away games to go to, but to go out there, to score 4 goals, to have 75% possession. And I know people will say, but it's only Hull City. How many times in the FA Cup have we seen a giant killing? Macclesfield have already knocked out Crystal Palace. Grimsby knocked out Manchester United in the League Cup. So I don't really subscribe to that. I just look at the performance in front of my own very eyes and judge Chelsea based on that performance. And they went out there tonight and they were very, very good. And I think they deserve praise. They haven't got, like I said, an easier run of games coming. They've got Burnley at home next. But after that, they play Arsenal, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton, City and United. That is as tough run as you could possibly get. And we will really find out what Chelsea and what Liam Rosenior is made of when those run of games come, which is going to be very, very, very soon. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and you let me know your thoughts. Make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. So let's jump straight into it. Chelsea 4, Hull City 0, and it was a brilliant hat-trick from Pedro Neto. I really, really even scored, well, it wasn't indirectly, but it was indirectly. He scored from a corner. Liam Delap should have had a couple of goals. He walks away with 3 assists. Neto walks away with 3 goals. Estevao, again, walks away with a goal. And it's a really good bit of management as well today. Rosenior took off Caicedo, took off Reece James when he had to around the hour mark. Sarr comes in back to make his first appearance. I think since the Club World Cup, something like that, he's back in the 11 or first start since the Club World Cup because, of course, was out on loan. Sanchez, Fofana, James, Hato. I thought Hato, when he signed for Chelsea, would definitely be a good player, and I do think he needs time. What's going to be really, really interesting is how Chelsea go into the summer, providing they get top 4, what is going to be their back 4 next season. Disasi's, joined West Ham. I still stand on it. They need to bring in a world-class centre-back and a world-class goalkeeper. But Sanchez, in recent weeks, hasn't been at all bad, to be honest with you. Chelsea have won 4 out of the last 5 games. Other than that draw against Leeds, have comfortably dispatched of a lot of teams, beating Charlton, Brentford, Pavos, Crystal Palace, Napoli, West Ham at the very, very end, Wolves, and of course, tonight. And like I said, other than that freak of a result, well, they're not really freak results, but other than the losing home and away to Arsenal in the League Cup, other than that, Chelsea have been very, very good, and they deserve, huge praise for their performance. They started off the game really, really well. As you would imagine, first kind of 25 minutes, how Liam Delap didn't score, I will never. Phillips, the Hull City goalkeeper, kicks it onto Delap. It hits his studs, goes onto the crossbar, and then it bounces out. He moves around to the left. For me, he should have just tapped it in. I understand he's probably waiting for the goal line technology to say it's crossed the line, but it actually didn't. And for whatever reason, he didn't convert the chance. I was sitting there watching it going, how on earth have you managed that? How on earth have you, even some of the commentary, said that was an absolute howler. An absolute howler. The first goal comes from Pedro Neto. It is actually an assist from the Liam Delap. And it's a really, really good finish. Left foot outside the box, drops deep into the centre, you know, trying to get something with Chelsea. Decent strike. Caicedo wins the ball back in midfield, plays it into him. He runs, it was like a striker's finish. Lacy straight through it into the bottom corner. You get into half time. Chelsea are 1-0 up. I don't really think anyone really had huge concerns, about Chelsea tonight. But as soon as Neto got that goal, I mean, look at these match stats. 76 possession, 1.68 XG, 2 big chances created, 1 missed, 8 shots on target, 13 shots, higher passing accuracy, good man management tonight, like I said, from Liam Rosenior. The second goal comes directly from a corner, Pedro Neto. I actually thought Hato got a touch on it, but he didn't. And then some really good play from Delap, goes down the right-hand side, puts the ball back across. Estevao waits, opens his body up, taps it into the back of the net with his left foot to make it 2-0. And do you know what? One thing I will say is Chelsea, with their run of games coming up, the biggest and most important thing now is momentum. Of course, Champions League, is coming up as well. We'll find out who the English teams have after, Newcastle's games against Karabakh and the other deciding qualification games. But between now and between then, like I said, that run of games that coming it's not easy. It's really, really difficult. But, Liam Rosenior has managed things well, managing to bring off, Reece James and Caicedo on the hour mark. Not only that, comfortably putting in a very good performance against Hull City. And then, of course, Pedro Neto wrapped up his hat-trick again with another really good finish. Little 1-2 into the box and then finishes it quite comfortably. But I want to look at these Chelsea games. Oh, actually, I want to look at before that. Since he's taken over at Charlton, that game against Charlton in the League Cup, I mean, it has been very, very good. And there's quite a number of decent performances in there. Beating Charlton, beating Brentford, beating Pavos, beating Palace, beating Napoli, beating West Ham. Out of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, he's won 6, which is a very, very good return. And then you look at this as well, beating Wolves. They should have beaten Leeds comfortably. And now tonight they've gone out there and beat Hull. But this run of games here, like I said, is as tough as it really gets. Fortunately for them, a lot of the tough games are at Stamford Bridge. It's only Arsenal away and Aston Villa away, but they are playing Newcastle at home. They are playing Man City at home, and they are playing Manchester United at home. Now, Cole Palmer had a really, really good performance against Wolves, got a hat-trick, then got a goal and an assist against Leeds at the weekend, was completely rested today. And they do have a number of players out injured, which is obviously worth mentioning, Colwill, Cucurella. Cucurella's out till mid-March, apparently, which is a huge, huge miss. Enzo Fernandez only played half hour tonight as well. But this game here, Burnley, coming up in what's that, 8 days or so, something like 9 days. I do think they will comfortably dispatch of them very, very easily. And then you get into the Arsenal fixture, and that's as tough a place as you possibly want to go. That really, really is a difficult ground. They're really, Arsenal at the moment, it depends how they get on against Wolves and Spurs. Bearing in mind, Arsenal will have to play 3 games before that Chelsea one. The FA Cup, tomorrow, Sunday against Wigan. And then, of course, they'll play against Wolves and then North London derby. Whereas Chelsea will only they've got, 8 days rest before they play Burnley. So they should be fit, recharged, ready to go. Hopefully, Burnley gets something in that game because I don't want to see this lot get any better. Reece James in the first half had that bit of a mistake. But other than that, Chelsea were very, very good. And you look at where they are in the Premier League now, they are starting to build some momentum. I know Liverpool won against Sunderland, but I am going to put my neck out on the line and say I do think it will be Chelsea and Manchester United. You look at their recent form, both teams doing very, very well. And Chelsea should be sitting there saying, well, hang on, third place is up for grabs at the moment. There's no guarantee that Aston Villa or Manchester United go on another run of games. Man United have got a tough run of games. Aston Villa, probably on the balance of things, have got the easiest of the 3. And Liverpool, of course, are playing Forest next, and they will have appointed their new manager by then. But let me know your thoughts down below on Chelsea 4, Hull City nil. I'll see you in the next one. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. I'm out.